Hello, little dreamers, and welcome to Dreamland Tales. Tonight, we have a very special story, one of magic, mystery, and a tiny little pea. Snuggle up under your blankets, close your eyes, and let your imagination take you to a faraway kingdom, where a true princess is about to be discovered. This is The Princess and the Pea. A long time ago, in a beautiful kingdom with rolling green hills and towering castles, there lived a young prince. The prince was kind and gentle, with a heart full of dreams, but there was one dream that mattered most of all. He longed to find a real princess to share his life with. The prince traveled far and wide, searching through distant lands and over vast blue oceans. He met many princesses. Some were kind, some were clever, and some were very beautiful, but something was always missing. Deep in his heart, he knew he had not yet found a true princess. One evening, as the prince sat by his window looking at the twinkling stars, a great storm rolled in. The sky turned dark and the rain began to pour. Thunder rumbled like a sleepy giant stretching in the clouds, and lightning flickered like fireflies dancing in the sky. Just as the storm reached its strongest, there was a knock at the castle door. Knock, knock. The queen, wise and gentle, opened the great wooden door. There, standing in the rain, was a young woman. She was drenched from head to toe, her golden hair clinging to her face and her dress soaked through. But despite the storm, she stood tall and proud. "I am a princess," she said softly. "I have traveled a long way, but the storm caught me. May I stay the night?" The queen studied the young woman. She looked kind. But was she a true princess? The queen smiled and nodded. "Come inside, my dear. You must be cold and tired." The servants rushed to bring warm blankets and tea. The princess dried her hair by the fire, and the prince watched her closely. Something about her was different. Something felt real. But the queen had an idea. She wanted to test if this young woman was truly a princess. Late that night, when the castle was quiet, the queen went to the guest room. She gently placed a single green pea on the wooden bed frame. Then, she called for her maids. "Bring the softest mattresses in the kingdom," she whispered. And so, one by one, the maids stacked the mattresses. 10, 20, 30, 40, they stacked high and high until the bed was like a mountain, reaching almost to the ceiling. Finally, soft silk blankets were laid on top, as light as a cloud. When the room was ready, the queen called for the princess. "My dear, your bed is prepared." The princess looked up at the towering bed. She took a deep breath and carefully climbed the golden ladder to the top. She nestled beneath the blankets and closed her eyes. The castle grew quiet, the rain softened, and the stars peeked out from behind the clouds. Slowly but surely, the princess's eyes grew heavier and heavier until she drifted off to dreamland. The next morning, as the sun painted the sky in soft pinks and oranges, the queen and prince hurried to the guest room. The princess sat at the edge of the bed, rubbing her eyes. "How did you sleep, my dear?" the queen asked. The princess sighed. "Oh, your majesty, I wish I could say I slept well, but something hard was beneath me all night. I tossed and turned, but no matter how many blankets I had, I could still feel it." The queen and the prince exchanged knowing smiles. Only a true princess, someone as delicate and sensitive as a rose petal could, have felt a tiny pea beneath 40 mattresses. The prince smiled. He knew now, without a doubt, that this young woman was special. She was not just any princess. That very day, the castle bells rang with joy. The prince and princess were married in a grand celebration. The gardens bloomed with the brightest flowers, the birds sang sweet melodies, and the kingdom rejoiced. And as for the little pea, it was placed in a glass case in the royal treasure room, as a reminder that true royalty comes not from wealth or appearance, but from something deep within. But the story didn't end with the wedding bells and joyous celebrations. The prince, now deeply in love with his princess, was fascinated by her extraordinary sensitivity. He understood that this wasn't just about feeling a pea. It was about a profound connection to the world, a delicate harmony with the subtlest of energies. He began to notice how she would wince at a slightly off-key note in a musician's melody, or how she could detect the faintest scent of a wilting flower from across the garden. She could sense the sadness in a child's eyes before they even spoke, and her touch could soothe the most restless of animals. The prince, being a kind and thoughtful ruler, realized that this unique ability could be a gift to the kingdom. He encouraged her to use her sensitivity to understand the needs of their people. She became known as the Princess of Subtle Senses, and her counsel was sought by everyone, from the humblest farmer to the most learned scholar. She helped resolve disputes by sensing the true emotions hidden beneath words. She guided the royal gardeners to cultivate the most fragrant and healing herbs, and she even assisted the royal physicians by detecting imbalances in their patients that no one else could perceive. The kingdom flourished under her gentle influence. The prince, in his wisdom, built a special sanctuary within the castle gardens, a place of quiet reflection and sensory exploration. Here, the princess could nurture her gifts, surrounded by soft textures, soothing sounds, and delicate aromas. One day, a neighboring kingdom was struck by a mysterious illness. The people were listless and weak, and no cure could be found. The king, desperate, sent a messenger to the Princess of Subtle Senses, begging for her help. The princess, accompanied by the prince, traveled to the afflicted kingdom. She walked among the people, touching their hands, listening to their breaths, and sensing the subtle disharmony within them. She discovered that the illness was not a disease of the body, but of the spirit, a collective sadness that had seeped into the very earth. She gathered the people in the town square and, with her gentle voice and soothing presence, she guided them in a collective meditation. She taught them to reconnect with the beauty of the world around them, to appreciate the simple joys of life, and to find harmony within themselves. As the people began to heal, the land itself seemed to respond. Flowers bloomed, birds sang, and a sense of renewed hope filled the air. The neighboring king was overwhelmed with gratitude, and the princess returned to her kingdom, her heart filled with joy. The tale of the princess and the pea became a legend, not just about a test of royalty, but about the power of sensitivity and the profound connection between all living things. And the little pea, encased in its glass treasure, became a symbol of the extraordinary potential hidden within the smallest of things, a reminder that true greatness lies in the depths of one's being. The prince and princess lived long and happy lives, their kingdom a beacon of peace and understanding, all because a single pea revealed the true heart of a princess. And so, the story whispers, true royalty is not about crowns and castles, but about the delicate and beautiful essence of a soul. And so, the prince found his true princess, and together they lived happily ever after, just like in the sweetest of dreams. My dear little dreamers, as the night sky wraps around you like a warm hug, close your eyes and drift off into a peaceful sleep. May your dreams be filled with magic, kindness, and adventures of your own. Good night, sleep well, and I'll see you again soon for another Dreamland tale.